The city of Portland is growing, recovering, and in many ways, thriving. It's also dealing with a lot of crime. From stolen cars and graffiti to gunfire and more homicides than the city has ever seen. Some people arrested are repeat offenders. Take the suspect in last month's kidnapping case in Northeast Portland. Justin Emmanuel Hill is accused of stealing a car with a 3-year-old in the back seat. Court records show that when Hill was arrested, he had several open charges, including 3 car thefts in the last year alone. It begs the question, why are chronic repeat offenders allowed to walk in and out of jail before their trial, often putting the public at risk? A peek at the presiding judge order offers the short answer. Suspects are evaluated on risk, but typically only the most serious felony charges keep people in jail pre-trial. It took a kidnapping charge to keep Hill behind bars. For others who don't meet that criminal threshold, it's usually back on the street.
We can't keep people in jail prophylactically. It would be a constitutional violation of their rights.
This case does.
Cheryl Albright is chief criminal judge for Multnomah County Circuit Court. She points out the system has always worked that way. What's different now is the wait between arrest, release, and trial is longer.
It's everything. It's the pandemic. It's staffing shortages. It's lack of resources. You can't keep someone in custody for an extended period of time without a court-appointed attorney. That just is a constitutional crisis.
Which brings us to perhaps the most complicating factor of all right now in Oregon's criminal justice system: a shortage of public defenders and extreme case overload.
There are maybe 150 people or so who have been arraigned in the last several weeks who have not been able to receive appointed counsel because we don't have enough court-appointed attorneys to appoint them.
Cases have been dismissed because of the lack of representation, because it is constitutionally required.
Carl McPherson is executive director of Metropolitan Public Defender, the state's largest provider of public defense services. On Monday, they started a 4-week pause on accepting new felony or misdemeanor appointments in Washington County, except for existing clients. And in Multnomah County, they haven't been accepting new minor felony appointments since January 10th. For reference, most auto thefts are minor felonies.
We do the work because we want to help people, and to know that there are people who are not receiving our services or our help is extremely painful for everyone doing the work.
McPherson says pausing on new cases wasn't a choice. He cites a 2007 Oregon State Bar opinion. It says they must refuse to accept a workload that prevents them from meeting their ethical obligation to each client. McPherson says attorneys are already working 40 to 60 hours a week on current caseloads.
It's not justice to assign an attorney to a case that they don't have the time to actually invest in representing that individual.
According to McPherson, this problem had been brewing long before the pandemic and will take years to fix. He points to a national study by the American Bar Association. Based on caseloads of the last 4 years, it found Oregon has 31% of the public defenders needed to represent clients, a deficit of 1,296 lawyers. Recently, Oregon lawmakers earmarked $12.8 million for the Office of Public Defense Services. That's enough for 36 more lawyers.
So 36 more lawyers is 2.7% of what we actually need, but it is at least a step in the right direction.
It's a long and complicated answer to what many perceive as that revolving door justice system, a system that, like the scales of justice, is striving for stability.
And so we're trying to balance a system that's not currently balanced.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.